Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line proudly presents to you another exciting edition of The Woke! Turning on the woke. This episode is brought to you by Propagandist Anonymous. Are you suffering through the disease of propagandism? Are you an attention seeker who is tired of being overlooked and unknown? If so, join a group at Propagandist Anonymous. Propagandist Anonymous offers daily support groups where your attention needs will be met. We have weekly study sessions of the woke Bible where we train the next generation of huge, embarrassing failures. Do not hesitate. The time is now to propagate. Call us today at 800-UNKNOWN. Oh, the anonymous propagandist was absolutely humiliated last night on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. You know, the first thing that crossed my mind when one of my long-term viewers sent me this clip earlier this morning was, what the hell is Kaitlan Collins? Katie Roo! What the hell is Kaitlan Collins doing on late night television? What the hell's going on here? I know it's been a long time since I have watched late night TV. I grew up during an era when they had real late night hosts. As a teenager, I was a huge fan of Conan O'Brien. As I got a little bit older, I alternated between Jay Leno and David Letterman. The generations before me, you guys had the pleasure of watching the king of late night television, Johnny Carson, not to be confused with the irrelevant Johnny B. Biden. But when I used to watch late night television, they featured famous actors, stand-up comedians. They would have musical guests on the show singing songs that you've actually heard of. And the artists, they were actually singing. They didn't need the assistance of a backing track. Believe it or not, and I know this might seem unbelievable to my younger viewers, but the artists, they often had these things that we used to call bands, where people played instruments live behind them. Late night television, it used to be the premier platform for public figures looking to promote their latest project. Rarely was someone booked on a late night show that was completely anonymous to most of the country. So I was incredibly confused this morning when one of my viewers sent me a clip of Kaitlan Collins speaking with Stephen Colbert. As expected, the appearance was a disaster for Katie Roo. Stephen Colbert, he said something about CNN that was meant to be taken seriously. The audience in New Woke City, they took it as a joke, which created an incredibly awkward situation for Katie Roo as she was damn near laughed off the stage. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you can figure out why Kaitlan Collins was booked on The Late Show last night, let me know in the comments below. Initially, I thought maybe she wrote a book and she was making the media rounds to promote it. So I pulled up Google and I searched titles like How to Destroy a Legacy Network in Cable News Before the Age of 35, or How to Dethrone Bomani Jones as the Undisputed Huge Embarrassing Failure. To my knowledge, though, the Roo has not wrote a book or paid someone to write one for, so she was not there to promote a loser in literature. I thought maybe Roo had increased ratings on her primetime dump at CNN, and she became an overnight star in cable news. But I checked the latest ratings, and Kaitlan Collins, she is still riding the Bruce caboose. Last month was a record month for the Roo. She averaged 793,000 viewers in prime time. Now, of course, her ratings were boosted with a busier than usual news cycle, but that's okay. I mean, I benefited from the same thing here on YouTube, so I can't criticize Kaitlan Collins or anyone for that matter for taking advantage of a busy news cycle. The key is maintaining that audience. Unfortunately for Roo, she's not off to a great start in August. Ratings have declined 7%, and if you remove the ratings from August 6th, where she eclipsed 1 million viewers when it was announced that the Queen of Socialism selected the King of Socialism as her potential vice president, if you remove that day, Katie Roo's ratings, they have already declined by 12% this month. My inside sources tell me most of the audience, they watch Katie Roo on mute. I get it. I get it. Kaitlan Collins is easy on the eyes, beautiful young woman. When her show starts, there might be 1.5 million wanker spankers watching. After about 2 minutes, though, over 60% of the audience, they return to playing Dungeons and Dragons. I could not find a reason as to why Kaitlan Collins would be booked on late night television. I know for damn sure she was not booked based on her charisma. I know she wasn't booked based on her ability to entertain. I would rather watch the Lizzo clear the pool with a cannonball than sit through a painfully boring segment with Katie Rue Collins. Whatever the reason, though, Kaitlan Collins appeared last night with Stephen Colbert. I guess Wolf Blitzer, woof, woof, woof. I guess Wolf was busy. I guess Andy Cooper was hanging out with Andy Cohen. So CNN, they sent their third most unknown star to appear on CBS. Guess what the topic of conversation was? Just take a wild guess. Did Stephen Colbert ask Katie Rue how she was going to save the CNN Titanic from sinking? No. That's what an actual journalist would do. If I was interviewing Kaitlan Collins, one of the first things I would ask her about is the dismal ratings of the Cemetery News Network. How can Fox News and MSNBC continue to thrive while the violinist on your Titanic, they quit playing months ago, and we are all patiently waiting for the ship to submerge? Are you worried about job security? How do you deal with the pressure of working at a failing network? Do you have aspirations of working for a real media outlet, like doing local news in Sheboygan, Wisconsin? Because at this point, the local news in Sheboygan, that is more glamorous than CNN. Of course, Steph, he didn't ask Rue about the ratings. They had more important things to discuss. I'm sure you'll be surprised that the primary focus of their conversation was Donald Trump. Orange Man bad! The same Donald Trump that consumes the thoughts of every late night television host. You know, I bet Stephen Colbert, I bet he has dreams at night of an orange being the only thing that covers the banana on the Orange Man. But Katie Rue, she is sitting there talking nonstop about the Trumper, and just like it is on her own primetime dump at CNN, no one is listening. All of a sudden, though, the audience regained its pulse. Stephen Colbert, he interjects into her painfully boring soliloquy to give a compliment to CNN. Now, this was not meant to be a joke. This was one propagandist honoring another propagandist. The Late Show is filmed in New Woke City, one of the wokest cities in the country. Listen to how the audience responds when Stephen Colbert compliments CNN. Roll the film.
He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a... I know
that's supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
You know, normally I would burst out in fake laughter after sharing a segment with you guys from late night television, but this laughter is legit. That is the funniest thing I have seen on late night TV in years. With a straight face, Stephen Colbert claims CNN is objective and they report the news as it is. The audience in New York City, one of the wokest cities in the country, they burst out laughing. Even parishioners at Woke United Methodist know CNN is full of shit. Kaitlan Collins, she didn't know how to respond. Is that supposed to be a laugh line? No, Rue. Matter of fact, it should not be funny at all. It should be downright embarrassing. That moment right there, that moment is the reason CNN is a huge embarrassing failure. I have said this countless times over the years. No one takes CNN seriously. This network is the laughingstock of cable news. When I say working at CNN is no longer seen as prestigious, that is not hyperbole. I am being serious. CNN is no longer a prestigious network. They will never regain conservative viewers, and they are not woke enough for woke United Methodist. As a news network, CNN is at the worst place you can be, and they have been here for years. CNN is a network without an identity. All kidding aside, I think I might know why CNN booked Kaitlan Collins on The Late Show. CNN is trying to build Kaitlan Collins as the next big star in cable news. I understand why. On the surface, it makes perfect sense. Katie Rue is 32 years old. She is a beautiful young woman. You can put her face on billboards and it won't scare people away. She's intelligent. She's well-spoken. Kaitlan Collins is articulate. On paper, she's got everything you need to be a star in cable news. The problem is, I don't think she has the intangibles. I will give her credit. She was a hell of a lot better with Stephen Colbert than she is on CNN. Last night, that was one of the first times that I have seen Kaitlan Collins smile on television. I feel like the one thing she is missing, though, is the one thing that can't be taught: charisma. Now, I could be wrong, but if she does have charisma, we definitely don't see it at CNN. I told you guys last summer I thought it was a mistake for Kaitlan Collins to take this job in primetime at CNN. I understand why she took it. There's only 3 cable news networks in the country. Well, Casey, what about Newsmax? What about News Nation, home to Chris Cuomo? Hey, it's me, Chrissy C! Like I said, only 3 cable news networks in the country. You're offered a primetime role at one of them, you take it. But the reason I thought it was a mistake is because I don't think CNN can be saved. When you're hosting a primetime show on a primetime dump and the Titanic inevitably sinks, you're gonna take the blame. Last spring, Kaitlan Collins, I thought she was in the perfect situation. She was the one being talked about as the next big star. She could have parlayed that into a role at Fox News, a network that people actually watch. That's where you want to be. You want to be the one that people are speculating about. You don't want to be the one to take over a polished turd and you turn it into a steaming turd. But give me your thoughts on this. Stephen Colbert claims that CNN is objective and Kaitlan Collins is damn near laughed off stage. Embarrassing moment for Katie Rue. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But what do you guys think of Kaitlan Collins? I think she's a paid propagandist. She is Southern born and raised. I just don't see how Kaitlan Collins actually believes the propaganda she is paid to promote. What about you? Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. See you guys tomorrow.